Welcome to the bonus episode of my podcast. And today, this is the part one of Know Your Role, Play the Game. So, it all started when I contacted my phone and asked him what was his favorite game. And you know what did he say? Cyberpunk 2077. So, that is why I'm not having my friends here. So, today I'll be joined by my younger brother and his friend Shivanshu, and we'll be talking on our favorite games. So, let me just welcome you all. Hello, guys. How are
Hello.
you?
Hello.
Okay. So today we're going to be discussing about what our favorite games is so far.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to kick this off by one of our favorite games. It's called Minecraft.
Top selling
Top
game
selling,
of all time.
obviously.
Let's go to a place where everything is made of blocks, where the only limit is your imagination. Let's go wherever you want to go. Climb the tallest mountains, venture down to the darkest caves, build anything you want, day or night, rain or shine, because this is the most significant sandbox you'll ever set foot in. Build a majestic castle, invent a new machine, or take a ride on a roller coaster. Play with friends, build your own little community. Protect yourself with the strongest armor that you can craft, and fight off the dangers of the night. No one can tell you what you can or cannot do, with no rules to follow. This adventure, it's up to you.
Alright, guys. So Minecraft is a sandbox type video game which offers a lot of creativity towards its players. A player can construct a world made out of rough 3D blocks where they can craft materials and tools, and they can build literally anything depending on their skills. It resembles a 16-bit retro game, but since you can literally do anything that you want, it is regarded as possibly the most popular game of all times. So, my first question to you guys is, how did Minecraft attract your attention while everyone was so engrossed with AAA titles like Red Dead Redemption, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Grand Theft Auto? So, my first question goes to Tejas.
The thing about Minecraft which attracted me the most was the fact that it has no specific goals to accomplish. Absolutely nothing. It allows us to have a large amount of freedom in choosing how to play the game. And as you have mentioned, it has just 16-bit graphics which would be simply unacceptable in today's modern world. The way we are seeing the game, 60 FPS, 120 FPS, and here we have Minecraft, a 16-bit game, but still the most played game in the world. As we have seen with the recently trending game Among Us, the fact that you can just play with your friends is simply the thing that can lead your game to popularity, and it can get trending, and that Minecraft has been successful in achieving. It requires a lot of team cooperation in order to build your own world, your own city. What you have in your mind, the perfect rendition of the world, the absolutely perfect, no errors for that. You can contact your friends and make and represent the whole world in your own point of view, the way you see the world and the way you want it to be. And that is the fact that has amazed me the most.
Alright. And Shivanshu, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Tejas. What he said is just what I was about to say. But yeah, it does not limit your creativity. For like we have GTA 5, you can't build houses. You just have to accomplish these missions, and you have finished the game. You can't do anything after that. You can do strangers and freaks, but nothing after that. Like you can only drive a car, fly an aeroplane. That's it. But in Minecraft, after if you defeat the Ender Dragon, you have a lot to do.
All right. So my second question is that though the game allows for a large amount of freedom, as said by you two, are the graphics, which are like the 3D sandbox structures, and they have these rough cubes of materials, is it so bad that people are losing interest, that Indian players don't play it that often? Is it something which discourages new players to build something in this game?
In my point of view, graphics have never mattered. Like I already said, Among Us, made by three kids in college, just looking to make a game, and suddenly it pops out. Everyone starts playing it. PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, everyone. You see the trending gaming section in YouTube. You'll only see Among Us as of now. Graphics have never mattered. And as for Indian players, Minecraft requires an online server. And as we know that piracy is the top deal over here. So it has never been the fact that aren't going to spend 600 rupees on some 16-bit retro game,
All
which would
right,
require creativity.
you're correct.
Everyone wants their things to be set. Like I'm going to go to his house after this and to do a mission. In GTA 5, you have specific goals set to you one after the another. You don't have to put any of your thinking into it. But Minecraft requires a lot of it. That is why it is still the most attractive game of all time, the best selling game.
Exactly. So you said that gameplay matters, and I'm seconding that because it's a true statement. Because people these days they have this high rigs and they'll act that graphics are everything, but it is the gameplay which actually matters. You know, between the three of us, we'll still enjoy playing GTA Vice City while they are crying about it that they want to play GTA 5. So I've come to know that you, Tejas, your other friends Ajitesh and Shubh, have been building a house in Minecraft. So any plans for that, Shivanshu?
Yeah, we have just built a single house. We were just planning on building an entire town, but first, what we are trying to do is collect some resources. We have absolutely nothing. We are just
All
Yeah,
right.
we are just kind of beggars in Minecraft.
Yes,
We just
because
fight over
yeah,
everything.
we are trying to make a town and a mansion, and I actually am willing to cover it in some of my walkthroughs and post it on my channel. So we are still working on that. Soon we'll upload a new video. Okay, okay. So now, guys, we'll be moving on to our next video game. It's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Democracy? Democracy. Democracy is not what these people need. Hell, it's not even what they want. America's been trying to install democracies in nations for a century, and it hasn't worked one time. These countries don't have the most basic building blocks to support a democracy. Little things like we ought to be tolerant of those who disagree with us. We ought to be tolerant of those who worship a different god than us. That a journalist ought to be able to disagree with the president. And you think that you can just march into these countries based on some fundamentalist religious principles, drop a few bombs, topple a dictator, and start a democracy? Give me a break. People don't want freedom. They want boundaries, rules, protection from invaders and from themselves. People need a leader who can give them both the support and the constraints to keep chaos at bay. You give them that, and they'll follow. And that's where I come in.
So, alright, guys, so let me give you an introduction. So, COD, Call of Duty, is love for many gamers. If you aren't addicted to Counter Strike, this is the get go of the entire FPP for the first person shooter genre. The most over first person shooter which this Call of Duty is, it has spawned memes and gameplay videos and a lot of rip-offs due to its linear structure and its variation in storyline plots. and it also has a much acclaimed zombies and multiplayer modes also. See, in my college VIT, the Modern Warfare in back in 2007, it has a LAN multiplayer, which it is our entertainment for us hostelers, because we aren't keen to play Counter Strike, okay, especially here where its circuit it's is so big, and Call of Duty is something which is new, okay, its circuit is negligible, okay, it's so like it cannot be taken notice of that much easily. So Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, it was released in 2014 and it capitalized on its predecessors, which was Ghosts and the much acclaimed Black Ops 2. It improved on Ghost's formula and brought in elements showcased in Black Ops 2 also. So for this part, we'll be discussing about the main campaign featuring Kevin Spacey, who served as the main antagonist. So recent Call of Duties have faced backlash before because they are too futuristic at times. In 2016, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare's trailer came out, and it has the most dislikes in the video game trailer genre, trailer category. So it was underwhelming at some plot points, and they switched over to World War II, which was released in 2017. So, like its successor, does it feel that the exosuit which is present in the game and other devices like Wall which are the sake of the player, does it make it too easy to breeze through the campaign mode?
It depends on the players actually. You have four campaign modes, I think, with four levels of difficulties in Call of Duty games,
Yeah, veteran, soldier, something like that.
which we have never been able to do, by the
Obviously,
way.
it's impossible, bro. Even the no Russian in Modern Warfare 2 cannot be completed. Okay, and all you have to do is shoot people in it. It is controversial, but it is still tough because the assault of the police comes. Na?
I like the way how Call of Duty has always represented the future, except recent games, leaving that. It has always represented the futuristic approach with which mankind will see each other. And it has set a negative sort of feeling, but don't get me wrong, it has shown the technological development that we aim, that we as human beings want for our comforts. So it brings a whole new level of that, and it sets a bar for what we have to achieve by this, by what us gamers believe that we will achieve by that time.
Obviously,
And I also love the fact that how it how it tries to be historically accurate while being inaccurate,
it's
like in
correct.
World at War and World War II. That's the best fact about these games. You know, you think that you can get something out of it, but you actually don't, which leads to having more fun and paying less attention to the storyline. It has always Gaming has always been about having fun.
Obviously, Shivanshu, anything?
Yeah, I would just like to say that Call of Duty games, most of them have always been on two completely different ends of the spectrum. For example, you have the Advanced Warfare, which is too much futuristic, and then you have the World War II, which goes back in time. Where, like you have, if compare it to Counter Strike, for example, Counter Strike, they don't care about the timeline that much. They just give you a gun. They tell you to shoot at the guy which you see, which is not your teammate. That's what most people actually don't prefer. I must say, because my friend Shub actually, he likes those exosuits a lot, and
Obviously,
the light.
I took this game from him back in 2018. So I thought, yeah. So we just wanted to cover this topic. His absolute favorite, I think, is Black Ops 2, perhaps.
Yeah, I think so.
It's yeah,
My absolute favorite is Black Ops 2 as well.
yeah.
Only Call of Duty game that I have actually played.
Yeah, obviously, because we played it so much. At that time, we had an Intel 5500 integrated graphics card. We didn't have the GTX, we didn't have the RTX, but it ran the game at around like 45 FPS, and we played it like 8 times. We played the entire story 8 times just so we can get this ending, this particular ending. They had the Strike Forces team. Advanced Warfare was like meh, it's there, okay, because I just played the story and it wasn't that memorable.
You have
So
a gun, you go out shooting everyone
obviously that
like crazy.
yeah, it was the problem, okay. So I just wanted to ask, okay, like What are the differences when you play the Advanced Warfare game against a more established series like the Black Ops and the Modern Warfare franchise? Are there any? What do you prefer?
The better thing about Black Ops series is that it is in chronological order, and at some point you have played so much of that game that you are now in the head of Alex or David Mason, which are the main
Yes,
protagonists of the
yes,
series. You'd start feeling that way, and like Harper was the name of the guy,
yeah.
his best friend, and
Menendez killed him.
Mendes killed him. Yes, and that decision that you had to took
It
to
was so
that you
intense, na
have to.
Tejas? It was so intense because Menendez, Farid is holding him at Harper
Yes,
at gunpoint,
it
and then Menendez is standing right beside him.
literally made me have goosebumps.
Obviously, it was a tough decision because we both knew how it's going to affect the story, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
but
So,
that was
yeah.
very emotional, to be honest.
So,
Seeing
guys,
your best friend die like that while you are in the head of the main protagonist, that was emotional, to be
obviously,
honest.
yeah. So, yeah, Alex Mason was possibly the most, down to earth protagonist because it was so realistic. So, guys, just a final question. So, do you have any comments on the press F to pay respect in the funeral scene that which has become a meme now?
Yeah.
That's my favorite meme, I tell you, to be
Well,
honest.
if I
Anything
may,
happens to anyone, any sort of bad things,
F,
you just say F.
small F.
As simple as that. Small F, especially.
you
It has
know,
more type of soft in it, and it.
yeah, this guy in Reddit once came, okay, and told people he didn't get the meme because he always saw press X, press cross to pay respect, and he got downvoted to hell, man. Like I didn't see that much downvotes being accumulated in that much time in which the meme was elapsed. You shouldn't have said that. Okay, because the entire see that there is this PC master race, okay, which consider console peasants. You're getting me? Yeah. So it must have ate that guy because see people are very dedicated to Reddit these days, right? They just we
Yes.
You're at 800 or something karma right now. Okay.
Like
So
some popular person dies, you simply say F.
yeah,
Your best friend's crush rejects him, say F. That's all. He knows
obviously,
that you respect him. You have earned that sort of level in his mind that he now respects you if you say F.
exactly. Okay,
It
guys.
has become the symbol of showing respect.
Totally, Tejas. You have like interrupted me while I've started doing my ending statement, so I'll just move on to the next game now. So our next game, it served as the benchmark for the previous generation of video games, but now it has come under some really bad, destructive criticism because it has been released on PlayStation 5. Now you guys must be getting to what I'm referring to now. The now next trailer is for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather. Or I don't know, that thing. That magic. You see it in the movies. I wanted to retire from what I was doing, From that line of work. Be a good guy for once. Family man. So, I bought a big house. Came here, put my feet up. Thought I'd be a dad like all the other dads. My kids would be like the kids on TV. All except the son, but, well, you know how it is.
Alright, guys. So let me give you an introduction of the biggest game back in 2013. So Grand Theft Auto 5 took the world by storm. Okay, literally half of the United States of America called in sick on its launch day, and it garnered the same amount of appreciation from India. Now, if you own a PlayStation 3, a PlayStation 4, a PlayStation 5, Xbox 360,
and
Xbox
possibly
360,
PlayStation 6.
placed Xbox One, Xbox Series X. I don't even know. Like
Like Series X and
I
S.
don't even care, bro, because Xbox's name, these Xbox titles are so convoluted. Because after one, I just lost count. Series X and S and what the hell? Okay, let me just say, if you own a PC and you don't have Grand Theft Auto 5, even if it is a potato PC, okay, it has a worse graphic card. Your friends will stare at you as if you have committed the biggest crime. Okay, so let me get back to the topic. Grand Theft Auto 5 revolutionized the gaming industry and it set the benchmark for the upcoming 7th generation open world games. So, you get to control three characters, which was a new feature, namely Michael, Trevor, and Franklin, and you get to perform heists in both story and it's periodically updated online mode. So the online mode is still going strong with new updates, and the definitive edition of the game was recently free on Epic Games. So if you still don't own the game, you're pretty liable to hear a mouthful of criticism from your peers. So my first question to you guys is, what is the best thing about Grand Theft Auto 5 apart from the pleasing realistic graphics?
The best thing about GT5 is its marketing team. The way it sets out the timing for everything, the hype it creates around the game is just mind blowing. Like they released a trailer some 2 or 3 years before the game, and it created a sort of hype that oh my god, GTA 5 is now coming out in stores and we'll be able to play that. Now, for many of us, GTA has defined our childhood. Even though we didn't understand a single word, it still defines our childhood. But GTA 5 can never overcome what GTA Vice City and San Andreas did for us, and that
Liberty
is
City
all.
Stories, shout out.
Liberty.
PlayStation Portable. we yeah, and I hated that trash Vice City Stories, bro. Okay, honestly, I didn't get that game at all. But Vice City is has a special place in my heart, because my mother bought it from for some 50 bucks at the some gift shop, and I never completed that game. Okay, I just enjoyed myself in that entire world, and then Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, and man, like, it was so realistic at that time, na Tejas, because now you can actually know that it's a game.
Truly.
But yeah, and that hardware of PlayStation 3, it was considered so strong, like, and it was on the way out actually, because the PlayStation 4 was supposed to come out the next year. So yeah, that's it. And Shivanshu, do you have any comments for the graphics?
Oh, the graphics. Actually, they were at that time. They were like, as you mentioned, they were revolutionary. Because when I owned an Xbox 360 at that time. Yes, I used to have an Xbox.
Sad.
Yes. Well, and when I first played GTA 5, actually, I didn't realize GTA is a series. Sorry for that. I was too young to realize. I was only about 6, 7 years old. So when I played that game, everyone was like, "Isn't this game 18 plus rated?" I was like, "Yeah." So what's in
What are
that?
you talking about?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
I'm so innocent. I'm such innocent boy.
Okay, which
And when I played it,
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it was just a new world because it was so revolutionary. It was so real. Because if you heard the names of some cars, you could say if you pick out some automobiles in that game are so realistic. Even though they are a parody version, but they are quite realistic.
All right. So it leads to my next question, that the game has been subjected to a lot of controversies as its predecessors because of all the shooting and the portrayal of women. So does it affect the mindset of young players as yourself? Because Tejas has been playing the Grand Theft Auto series when he was in kindergarten or something. So does it affect you in the long term? Do you think on this theory?
To be
Well,
honest, I never understood a single word that was being said. A single word. Leave alone the story. Story was
well,
something else for me.
well, you were too dumb to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But
I just knew that.
uh,
I just knew a single name that was Tommy Vercetti,
but we're talking
and he
about
was.
five here. So, what do you think
Uh-huh.
of all the controversial stuff which was portrayed in that game, which brought it under fire from the media?
It was not as such. That was not such controversial as it should be. It simply represented the incidents that have happened in the past. But some people like to criticize the game. Some people try to pull down the game by saying anything that it has promoted school shootings. That is, if that was the case, then there was something wrong with the player's mind. That has to
Obviously.
be checked and not the game.
Yeah, because it's a parent to do. Okay, because the game PUBG, it was responsible for many of the incidents which happened across the country. So, do you think that it was PUBG, or was it the how the children were brought up? Okay, people were killing each other over this game. And do you think that games affect people, like it drives them to commit these heinous crimes?
Absolutely not.
Obviously, na?
Just that their mindset. Yeah, it's nothing to do with games. They just don't have anything to blame it on. So they do like, yeah, I played GTA 5 and they said you shoot this gun and I shot that guy in real life. It's just blame games. It's not real. It's just an absolute bullshit. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
because it has some of the controversies are so dumb regarding Grand Theft Auto. Because if you know the actress Lindsay Lohan, she actually placed a lawsuit against Rockstar saying that they copied off her model for Michael's wife. I mean, what the fuck? Does it make any sense?
When your career is dead, you
Funny.
have to do something to earn easy money.
Yeah, I
Obvious.
just I just was about to say that.
Yeah, and other thing is that in Tejas, if you remember, like I told you once, that in San Andreas there was this mini game. It was called the hot coffee mod. Remember that? I won't be stating what is it, so guys, research it out yourself. But what happened was that there was a mini game which was actually, you know what? Let's leave it to the
Just leave it.
guys to,
Just leave
yeah,
it.
yeah.
They
It's
can search it on Google.
yeah, they can search it on Google. All right,
A
guys.
lot of people will be very interested.
Yeah. Lots of people. Okay, guys. So, so Grand Theft Auto 5, when it came out on PC, like as any other Grand Theft Auto title, it has some mods to it. Okay, so you may have gone on to YouTube or you may have tried it out yourself. So I would like to ask you guys, what are your favorite mods for Grand Theft Auto 5 or any title?
I have never actually considered using mods because that is why I would prefer GT over Minecraft. I don't have that level of creativity to create something in a game and put hours of work into it, and nor am I willing to do so.
All right, and what about you, Shivanshu? Have you tried any mods?
No, absolutely nothing. Actually, I just got a PC around 6 or 7 months back. As I mentioned, I had an Xbox, so there's
Yeah.
that.
So let me tell you guys that I had some mods for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and they had this Iron Man mod. They had the actual HUD and the entire Malibu mansion with the Hall of Armors. And then I actually tried a mod which made Grand Theft Auto 5 even more lifelike. Like it turned on the contrast to way above, and it actually made the entire thing feel so real. Okay, so it changed the aspect ratio, so it felt like I was watching a movie at that time. So guys, check that out on YouTube. I think they have updated it. It has become more realistic with the help of the new RTX 3090, or even use the new console hardware, because if they can support mods, obviously. So guys, I'll be now moving on to our next game. So Tejas, I think you'd like this one. It's God of War Ghost of Sparta.
Kratos sat atop his throne, and though Olympus beckoned, visions of his mortal existence still haunted him.
Kratos! Deimos! Come home, my sons!
I am coming for you, brother.
The
Visions still haunt me of thee.
He lives, trapped in torment, deep in death's domain. He needs you.
You! Let Demos be taken!
This cannot be.
There is much you do not know. Be warned. We will all try to stop you.
You think you know all that the past holds.
Demos! No! Fight me!
Every end must first begin.
Did you think I would forget?
God of War, Ghost of Sparta.
Alright, guys, so Tejas, we have a long history with God of War because our
True.
first, we purchased our first two games, God of War 2 and Ghost of Sparta, on the same day, which was my birthday back in 2012. So it actually taught me a lot about Greek mythology rather than those Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus books. So the series followed the Spartan warrior Kratos, who made a deal with the god of war Ares, who tricked him into killing his wife and daughter. Then the thirst for power drove him to insanity, and Kratos soon exacted revenge when he was able to find Pandora's box and used its contents to defeat and become the new God of War. So God of War Ghost of Sparta was released in 2010 exclusively on PSP and later to PS3. So Tejas, I'd like to ask you this question. So what is your favorite moment in this game till now? Since it was a PSP game, so it was very impressive.
PS3.
The way in which Kratos established his power in the beginning. It was the only game that in which Kratos was actually the god of war,
You're
unlike
correct. You're correct.
the title suggests that.
Yeah, he was actually killed in the second part when Zeus betrayed him.
Yes,
You can continue.
yes, he was not the god of war in any of the games for the full game actually, instead of Ghost of Sparta. So it brings back a lot of memories for me, and its story is somewhat like a movie. I guess it had its fair shares of twists and turns in the game, like the fact that Zeus would be killed by a marked warrior, and Kratos' brother uh, Deimos was the one who was the marked
With the
warrior. He was
yeah.
Yes, he was a better warrior than Kratos, as it was showed in the flashbacks. But when they took him away, the gods themselves took him away. Kratos got those tattoos, the marks which is popularly known as,
Red
which
tattoos.
differentiates of him from the other Greek people, and makes him identifies him as the god that he is, the powerful person that he is, the demigod.
Oh, exactly. So Tejas, a previous title was released for the PlayStation Portable. So it was an inferior device, but it was so capable of running such a high-scale game of Ghost of Sparta. So it was preceded by Chains of Olympus. So comparatively, which game would you prefer? Which had a more developed storyline?
Ghost of Sparta,
Yeah,
of course.
because why are you so biased against Chains of Olympus because of that daughter thing?
Yes, the storyline was pretty dark in that.
Yeah, because see, Kratos was a stupid idiot in that game.
It was the it was the only game in which Kratos was actually misinterpreted as a kind being. He was
Yeah,
never a kind being.
yeah.
Whether
Actually,
he was the
he
god,
was a stupid idiot in Chains of Olympus, but he turned into an irredeemable asshole in God of War 3 because he literally killed all the gods in the most gruesome way in the video games may have shown to us, because he gouged Poseidon, he literally tore the throat of Helios. It got so dark in that, and in the end he died. But then he came back in the Norse mythology. So I guess his saga continues on because it, as shown in the recently, which it came out recently back in 2018, God of War, with his son boy. His name
I
is
think
Atreus.
that sometimes that we should just let things, just we should let it be.
Yeah. Oh, Beatles reference. Okay,
Me too.
Tejas. So, I like to ask you the same question which I asked for the Grand Theft Auto part. You played the game when you were in class one. Were you somehow anyhow affected by the blood and gore and the profanity in the game, mini game and all? Do you think it affected you in the long run? Except you became more
Just
savage or something.
Uh, if I may, I just like to
Yeah.
change the question. Tejas, did you understand anything in that game?
of course not,
Bro, he
but
understood. There were
it taught
subtitles
me
in
a
that game.
It was not like GTA vibe. You didn't
taught me
understand.
a perfect lesson that no matter how hard you work for someone, if they are superior to you, they will not treat you the same way. No matter how much you work hard for them.
Well, it turned into a moral science lecture here, but please
But I
continue.
was just telling the lessons that I was taught from the game. It's my own perspective. Don't
But
know about
yeah,
guys.
but
Yeah.
it taught us Greek mythology, it all the way. We literally know all the facts right now. What's the Pandora's box? Who is Hephaestus, Poseidon
Very
princess, and all that.
very inaccurate, but
It's the background, the side details which it portrayed. They were accurate. Because who will like waste their time studying Percy Jackson's book, right? Because it doesn't. It's like I doesn't don't like its representation of gods who are like it's been commercialized at best. Okay, but God of Ghost of Sparta, like it's like Assassin's Creed. Okay, Valhalla recently came out. Both are based in Norse mythology, and it does it right. It has represented the entire culture so significantly much better than those previous games which have attempted it at best. So, guys, we'll be moving on to our last game. It's the most universally acclaimed. Everyone has played it at this point, okay? Everyone has completed it. So, guys, this is our final game for this video, and it's called Need for Speed Most Wanted. So, guys, I know you guys have played it. Okay, any time of your life you have to have played it, or else you're just not a gamer. Okay, that that BMW M3 GTR, it has more fans than Justin Bieber. It possibly sings better than him. Yeah, I fell in love with because
Angry
yeah.
Justin Bieber noises.
What was I saying?
Angry Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Angry Justin Bieber noises.
Because you can actually judge people by like knowing that what are the how many times have you beat the blacklist of those 15 racers? Do you remember?
yes. The blacklist never made sense to me actually. It was just you battling out to be the most wanted person in the city and to have the highest bounty on your head. It
Exactly.
never made actual sense to me.
So yeah, that's it, guys. So I just wanted to know, this was the entire DLC part of the video series. So guys, now I'll be concluding by saying that we'll be joined by two new guests, Ajtesh and Shov, who were not able to join us today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So guys, I'll be signing off, and we'll be returning with more games, more types, We'll be exploring. I'll be asking them questions. What do they like about those series, and how did it affect them? How did it affect them in their personality? What did they love? What did they not love? The game mechanics and all. So, guys, this is Ariman, Tejas, and Shivanshu signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.